Well, welcome, Izzy and Tiffany, and it's very nice to talk with you this morning and just for a few minutes about your experience with the Right Method Tutoring. And so, Izzy's here, and you guys are on the East Coast,
Yes.
and I'm on the West Coast, so it's pretty early here. And so, I wanted to just run through a couple of questions here and just give you a chance to share your experience as a parent and also for Izzy to share his experience as a student
Okay.
for the tutoring. And so, all right, so let's jump right in. So we met on Facebook in a Facebook group,
Yes.
and there was a connection there with some curiosity about the fact that I was a writing tutor. And also, I think what caught your attention was you want to go into that?
I think the biggest thing that kind of stood out for me was because he and I had been talking about like colleges, and he was gonna need to start his college essay and things like that. And of course, I thought it wouldn't hurt either, to help him with, just school, his regular school, and English classes, and literature classes, as well as when he gets ready, prepared to take the SAT, any writing portions on that. So I just kind of figured it was like an all-in-one good shot for him and good opportunity for him.
Right. Now, and then Izzy, were you on board with that? Were you also motivated to get help, or was it something um that it was more of a mom thing? Talk to me about that.
Um, Honestly, at the time, it was more of a mom thing, I'll say. But as time went by and it progressed and stuff, I was definitely in tune with it and definitely willing to get the help that I need because I knew it would be important going on. And when I do write my college essay and I do submit it, you know, it will definitely help me in the future. So it definitely helped.
Right. Was there something in particular about your writing or experience, or even just looking at colleges? What was there a key frustration or need that you had, something that you wanted to change about your writing, or you knew had to be at a different level?
I'll probably say not knowing what to specifically write about in my college essay, just
Hmm.
trying to find what to write about and, just find a flow to write at. So that was definitely the most
Yeah,
frustrating part.
yeah. You seem to enjoy the exercises there a bit, and I noticed that you have a charming and a real grounded writing voice, and it it struck me that you were um, just being you and sharing your experience, especially as it related to your parents. And I think that Miss Tiffany, that really came across in the college essay. He really respects both of you as parents, and really grateful for that. So I think we took that opportunity. Izzy, what was that like for you? That was over summer, right? We were kind of doing a one-on-one college
Mhm.
essay
It was very
tutoring.
honestly, it was very fun, working on not only just working on myself, but working on myself and also putting it in the writing, and putting it in the writing form, just being honest in my writing. It was very fun during the summer. So yeah.
Great. And then what happened from there is we continued that, but then we started the regular online group tutoring, which is not focused specifically on writing the college essay, but on improving the academic writing, for students that wanted to get to that level where maybe they didn't have the grades, or they did have the grades, but they wanted to get that writing to the advanced level. And so you've been with us since about what, August 26th, and this is our sixth week. So talk about that a little bit. What has it been like in that group tutoring session?
It's been good, honestly, working with my other partner and then another partner joining just recently, but working with him and getting advice from him and we giving each other feedback. It was very good for both of us because there's some parts of our writing that he may think is different and I may think is different, and we can both come as a collective, just share our open thoughts and collaborate on what we should do better and what we think we should add and things like that. So it was definitely helpful to hear from another individual that's more of around my age, to see his input of my writing, and I could give my input to his writing, and we could just help each other.
Excellent. And so, Miss Tiffany, any thoughts there? Things that you noticed? Because
Um, I just seem to notice that he just seems a lot more confident. Even in like I've been like monitoring his because he is a homeschool online kid. And just kind of monitoring like his progression in his especially his writing type classes and English and history, things like that. I think he has A's in those classes, versus before he might have been like a B high C B student, but I think the writing actually comes through in those as well, and so he's able to utilize some of the tools that he's learned and, um, the advice from you and just things that has helped him in those particular classes that he can utilize those in everyday, his everyday academics.
awesome. I think you sent me a message at one point, and you were saying that he was really into the sessions, and
Mhm.
that was kind of unusual for him. And that
Yeah.
took you by surprise. You took notice of that.
Yeah, and his accountability, he is a student athlete as well. So, he goes to practice and normally on a day-to-day basis he gets home anywhere from, 5:30 to 6. But he on his days that he knows he's gonna meet with you, it's like his it's a routine for him. He instantly comes in, he does what he needs to do. He's like, oh, because I got Kevin at 7:30, so is he seeing him, jump into not, and sometimes I'm like, oh, you're right, I forgot. But he does it, so
Ah,
just see him take that initiative and just, getting into, like I said, he is establishing a routine and just things like that on his own without me having to tell him, hey, you got tutoring today, or hey, he knows these things. He'll set up his day to know that at the end of the day, on whatever the particular days that you guys meet, he has you
yeah,
at that allotted time.
that's great. Yeah. And he's 100% attendance to every session.
Yeah.
That's what I notice. And so let's thank you for those comments there. I want to ask you, so in the tutoring, I model writing a lot, and I'll take his writing, and a lot of times I'll just say, well, this is how I would do it here. And it's kind of like learning by doing, and being an athlete, it's almost like that coach standing next to the
Mhm.
athlete and
Mhm.
throwing that football and then doing it a few times and then asking the student to do the same. And then other players and even Izzy and the other two students helping each other out become that teacher, become that coach in that moment. So, how have you enjoyed that, Izzy? That kind of modeling from others. You kind of mentioned it before, but specifically being able to see examples of writing, how the teacher would write a particular passage, a sentence of yours, as you know, from your writing.
Uh, Honestly, it helped me a lot, just being able to be coached, during my writing, not because, the teacher or you in the sense that you might see something that I don't see, like I don't see
Mhm.
something you see. And for you to put that input with me, it helps me a lot because it's just something like I was saying, I don't see it, just being able to see it, and, it can improve my writing. So it definitely being coached through writing, it definitely helps, so yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Um, yeah, definitely writing is a six-stage process that I use. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, and so we have those six stages. And so we're talking about the pure editing phase, and that is so important that he's learning how to write for an audience, and
Mhm.
like you said, that different perspective of being the editor is so important. But I
Yes.
also think that what we're talking about earlier was the idea stage, and Kelly Gallagher, who I'm using his book, Write Like This. Um, something he said really stuck with me when I went to his workshops, and I went to two here in Kern County in California. And he said that students don't write for two reasons. And that was number one, they don't know what to write about.
Mhm.
And secondly, they don't know how to write it, you know, or it's both of those things.
Right.
And so I think I've really enjoyed as a tutor getting to know Izzy. And I think that's the connection that we had, and part of why I look forward to the tutoring. And
Hmm.
perhaps that's part of why he looks forward to the tutoring as well. And it's so fun to see the other students um, that we added. And there's three of them now. And it's like, you're right, there's like this routine, but it's like this community
Yeah,
of kids learning together. And I always wanted to create that. And so I'm so thankful that you guys have been, willing to take a chance on me. I'm,
absolutely.
you know, even though I've been teaching for a lot of years, 2008 until now, but doing the online group tutoring was something that was still fairly new. So I
Hmm.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so, how do you think this is going to impact you? Both of you can answer this question for the future, looking ahead to being that writer, whether it's a college student slash athlete, um, even applying to colleges, and even generally how that writing will help you, and how you feel it'll help you in the future.
I honestly think it'll help me a lot in the future, just being able to write, be a great writer and just being able to flow with my writing, just knowing the techniques I can use also in my writing, prepare me for that real essay that I'm gonna do next or whatever the case may be. Just preparation in my writing, just prepare myself to be a great writer and things like that.
Yeah, and so, and Miss Tiffany, your perspective or anything you want to say?
I think everything that he says, again, I just noticed his growth. And I think too, because he and I have played around with like, of course, as an athlete, he, would like to play football, continuing that journey and on the next level. But we've always talked about, if you don't play football, what are some of your other options? And he's talked about, sports broadcasting and journalism and things like that. So I think that this would definitely, open that door for him as well. And, give him a great outlook on the possibilities of what he can do in that, if, like I said, if he turns, if he decides to go right instead of left, so
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's been a lot of fun using the students' interests.
hmm.
Football especially has helped me a lot. I'm sure you've noticed, Izzy, where I'm always talking about in terms of, well, when we're approaching this paragraph or this part of the writing process, it's almost like going down the field and getting a readout and feedback on those plays that we planned way back here in this stage, and making adjustments just like a game. And so that's been really enjoyable for me. So we're going to kind of wind down, but I wanted to say, and by the way, looking forward as well, we're gonna have moments where we look back as we finish the next writing project, because it runs 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks to build that 12 weeks. We're going to talk about what we've learned, and saying, okay, these are the elements of organization.
Hmm.
These are the elements of ideas that we've learned and we can transfer to other situations. And these are the specific elements of writing that are going to help us. So it's always those three: writing, ideas, and organization. And I feel that that's what allows me to give them those transferable skills. So yes, if he does become a sports broadcaster, that he's got that other, I guess, mindset, that point of view shift, that, oh, wait a minute,
Hmm.
what does my audience need? How can I make this more real for them?
Yeah.
How can I paint that picture for them? And so it's very powerful there. So last question is, and Izzy and Miss Tiffany, you can both answer this question in any order you like. It is, what would you say to other parents or other students considering online group tutoring, whether or not it could help, whether or not it, one-on-one in person is one thing,
Hmm.
group tutoring online is something totally different. And so talk to me about yeah, what would you say to a parent who's probably a little unsure, a little skeptical, or even a little fearful about whether or not they might waste their time or money?
You wanna go first?
I'll go first. Yeah. Honestly, I'll say do it. There's no such thing as enough help, and I feel like every student could use help with when it comes to writing. I feel like writing is probably mostly for every student, probably the most struggle subject. Not a lot of
Mm,
people is great writers. Not everybody's an author. So I'll say do it. It definitely is. I can speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else, but it definitely is
mm,
helped me become a better writer.
right.
Like I said earlier, just help me flowing with my writing, just different techniques I can use to prepare me for that big essay, like my college essay. So I would definitely say do it. Um, yeah, that's what I advise. So
Thank you.
Um, I say, why not?
Mm,
Take the chance. Of course, you always want things to be in person, and if you just feel like, okay, if it's in person, it's more personable, it's tangible, that person is right there. I can always ask questions. And honestly, um, I don't, I know we're living in a society where everybody just kind of is on go, and everybody, the schedules are crazy and this and that and that. And so, ideally, I had to figure something out where that was suitable for our schedule,
mm,
that offered that flexibility. Um, and especially, like I said, with him
mm.
being a homeschool kid and an athlete and us traveling, and, it worked for us. And
Okay.
I think what they would have to do as the parent would just kind of have to sit down and just with some questions, and just see if that tutor meets that need, and you were willing to do that. If we needed extra hours outside of your norm, you was there. If we needed that extra
Right.
flexibility, you were like, hey, I can accommodate, I can make this happen. So I think it's just the parent really is just going to have to dig into that, and take that chance, because I'm glad we did.
Thank you so much. And any last words? Anything you'd like to add, or you said a lot.
Yeah, I
That
did.
was you said pretty much.
um, just thank you. Thank you for you say we took a chance on you, you took one on us. And so we're
Mm,
both very appreciative of that.
oh, I
He
appreciate that.
he's getting to, he, as you can see, you see how grounded of a kid he is, but just
Yeah.
him needing to elevate. And he and I just been having those in-depth conversations that are not always the most comfortable. Hey, college is coming up, you're getting ready to graduate, you're about to be 18. What does life look like for you after this?
Yeah.
And a lot of times kids don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that right now. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? I don't want to hear that, but it's the way of the world and the reality. So it's getting him prepared as a parent, so that when
Yeah.
these things come, he's ready.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the experience as well. I feel like I get a lot out of it as well. And I just want to say, and for anybody watching this, especially, but really specifically for you and for Izzy, I just want to say to Izzy, you're a fine young man, and you have really inspired um, myself and even Adi. You've really given a lot to him, more than you realize. Just being there and giving him that feedback. And then I would say to Miss Mom, we we owe you. I mean, we owe moms everything. And I would really say that keep up the good work, the great work, because everything that you do for Izzy and your family is, it just, it's a thankless job. It really
Mhm.
is a thankless job. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that moms make the world go round. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for what you've done eh, for your family, and how that really inspires me on a personal level.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, this closes our talk time. And thank you so much again. And you have a wonderful day. And Izzy, we'll see you Monday.
All right. Thanks,
thank you.
Kevin.
All right. Take
Have a
care.
great
I'll
one.
be in
All right.
touch. Take care.
Okay.
You too. Okay,
Bye
bye.
bye.